WNZK has available a few good hours of airtime for a few good programs to serve their communities. Radio is better than ever in targeting an audience that listens to what you say. Learn more about this exciting radio broadcasting opportunity by calling WNZK Radio at 248-557-3500. Call now. You're listening to WNZK, Dearborn Heights, Detroit, your ethnic superstation, 690 days, 680 nights.
أهلا بكل الذين ينضموا للاستماع إلى راديو بلدي أول راديو عربي أمريكي ويعنى بقضايا العرب في المهجر. برامجنا في راديو بلدي كل يوم جمعة من 8 وحتى 9 صباحا مع ليلى الحسيني في بث حي ومباشر عبر WNZK راديو 690 AM. صباح الخير بلدي، صباح الخير لكل مستمعينا.
Welcome to Radio Baladi, the first Arab, Middle Eastern, and American simulcast radio show. Radio Baladi is broadcast every Friday morning on WNZK 690 AM from 8 until 9 Eastern Time on Good Morning Michigan with Layla Al-Husseini. Our call-in number 248-557-3300. And now, stay tuned for the best radio talk show on Arab and American issues with your host, Layla Al-Husseini.
Today's show is presented by the Ziad Brothers, and now here's your host, Ray Hanania.
And good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Arab Daily News Radio Show. I'm your host, Ray Hanania, and today is Friday, January 8th, 2016. You know, there was a time, had to be like in the 70s or 60s, I think. I was holding a brand new 1967 penny that came out, and I was in elementary school, and I was thinking, wow, I wonder what the world would be like in the year 2000. And now we're just whipping through those years one after another without even thinking. 2016! It's unbelievable. It's 8:03 in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. I'm broadcasting from my studio in Chicago. And we want to welcome everybody who's listening in Detroit, Washington, D.C., and all over. This program is hosted on Layla Al-Husseini's U.S. Arab Radio Network, Radio Baladi, which she broadcasts every morning, Monday through Friday at 8 a.m., same station, right here, Eastern Standard Time. You can join us during the show. A little later, we'll open up the phones at 248-557-3300, and you can talk to us about some of the top issues that we're going to be talking about. And, of course, for more information on this show and any of the topics we talk about, you can visit our news website at thearabdailynews.com. Remember, that's thearabdailynews.com. In a few minutes, we're going to be talking with a special guest. I don't know if you've heard of what happened to Larycia Hawkins, but she was a professor at Wheaton College who was suspended by Wheaton College for saying basically that she stood in solidarity with Muslims and Jews and Christians, and that Muslims and Christians come from the same clay, and that Muslims and Christians are both people of the book, and, most importantly, quote, they worship the same God, Muslims and Christians. Now, she posted that on her Facebook page on, I believe, December 10th. And her statement was, I stand in religious solidarity with Muslims because they, like me, a Christian, are people of the book. And as Pope Francis stated last week, we worship the same God. That seems so beautiful, right? Here's a person, a Christian professor at Wheaton College, which is a Wesleyan university, in Illinois. It's not to be confused with Wheaton College in Massachusetts. Wheaton College here in Illinois is founded by the Wesleyans, who are evangelical Protestants who trace their heritage to John Wesley, who is the founder of the Methodist movement, which came out of the Church of England in the 1700s. And it happens that Larycia Hawkins is African American, but she posted that statement on her Facebook page December 10th. She also wore a hijab. Now, listen, I don't know I don't know what you want to call something when people cover their head with a scarf. If you're Muslim, they call it a hijab. If you're Christian, they call it a babushka. They call it a scarf. Christian women cover their heads all the time. They do that. My mother, who was born in Bethlehem, the birthplace of Jesus. And by the way, this is the Christmas week for Orthodox Christians and Easter Christians. January 7th, yesterday was Christmas, and so we wish a Eid Mubarak to all of the Christian Orthodox Christians out there, many of whom are from mainly 3 Arab countries, Palestine, Syria, and Lebanon, but they're spread out through the Middle East and the East. And, of course, the other mainstream Christian Arabs celebrate Christmas in the traditional December 25th date. So this whole thing came up right at a time when people are supposedly, you would think they'd be thinking about Jesus and Christmas and Christianity and religion and being Christian-like, which means that you extend a hand of friendship even to your enemy. You extend a hand of friendship to those who are oppressed, to those that are slandered and defamed. And no group is slandered and defamed in this country more than Muslims. Muslims in this country and around the world in this country are defamed, they're slandered, they're called all kinds of names, they're lied about, there are stereotypes that are promoted about them, they're denied equal access to express their views. I mean, Muslims in this country are treated horribly. And here comes this wonderful, beautiful professor. She should be made the president of Wheaton College, Larycia Hawkins, and she says something so beautiful and that is so Christian-like that I stand in religious solidarity with Muslims because they, like me, a Christian, are people of the book. And as Pope Francis stated last week, we worship the same God. And she posted a picture of herself wearing a hijab, which is a headscarf that many Muslim women wear to show modesty, just like Christian women. And by the way, many Jewish women cover up also. And a hijab, let's be quite, upfront, is not a burqa, and it doesn't cover your face. So we're going to have Larycia on in a minute. And Mike, I think what we're going to do is take our first break early because she's going to be calling in probably in what would be the middle of the first break. So if it's okay, Mike, why don't we do our first break? And when we come back, hopefully we'll have Larycia on the line so that way we don't kind of cut up the time with commercials when she's on radio with us. I'm Ray Hanania. You are listening to the Arab Daily News radio show here at WNZK AM 690 in Detroit and AM 700 in Washington, D.C. And this podcast will be posted on our website at thearabdailynews.com. Again, Ray Hanania. We're going to be right back here at the Arab Daily News radio show right after these messages.
Ziyad brand. Quality products from our family to yours. Ziyad Brothers Importing offers the finest quality products, including brands like Sultan, Kraft, Nestle, Hook, Rico Picon, Donna, and many more. Ask your retailer to carry these fine products because you deserve the very best. For more information, visit our website at www.ziyad.com. That's www.ziyad.com. Ziyad, quality products from our family to yours.
Jumana Kayrus. You've seen her images on giant billboards across the metro. Jumana Kayrus. You've seen her images on buses across the city. Now get to know Jumana Kayrus.
It's sad, but it seems like we live in an age where most lawyers are focused on the bottom line, the money. And a lot of people have stopped wanting to truly advocate. I'll never forget this case. This woman chose me as a lawyer of last resort. She was hit by a semi-truck. I was able to recover about $480,000. Not every lawyer is an advocate, but every lawyer should be an advocate.
Let Jumana Keyrus protect your rights. Call the law offices of Jumana Keyrus at 1-866-YOUR-RIGHTS, extension 100, or visit yourrights.com.
Are you going to start a restaurant or grocery store soon? Do you need floor plans and designs? Call Naji Abood at 734-744-9796. Do you want to buy kitchen and restaurant equipment at discount prices? Call Naji Abood now, 734-744-9796. New Concept Products and Design, the trademark of kitchen equipment. 5% discount on all purchases of $75,000 or more. New Concept Products and Design, new location, 31185 Schoolcraft in Livonia. Learn more at www.newconceptproducts.com. Call Naji Abood, 734-744-9796.
And welcome back to the Arab Daily News Radio Show. I'm Ray Hanania, and again, we're here every second Friday of the month on Layla Al-Husseini's U.S. Arab Radio Network, Radio Baladi, which she broadcasts every morning, Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in Detroit and in Washington, D.C. And I know she's expanding her program. We were talking about the case of, and really the sad story, but maybe not sad because, good people stand up to adversity in brilliant ways. And Larycia Hawkins, a professor at Wheaton College, is being persecuted almost the same way Jesus was persecuted. And this is so timely because it's the Christmas season, and Orthodox Christians are celebrating their Christmas this week, December 25th and January 7th for Orthodox Christians. And Wheaton College was upset because she posted on her Facebook page, I'm friends with her, and I'm just so proud because what she posted was so Christian-like. What she said was so brilliant. She said, I stand, and how could you be angry at a person? And that's why people are angry with Wheaton College, which posted this ridiculous page called Frequently Asked Questions Regarding Dr. Larycia Hawkins' Administrative Leave from Wheaton College. There's this long, stupid statement that makes the university, Wheaton College, which is supposedly a Christian university, it makes it look so ridiculous and sad. Hawkins wrote on her Facebook page December 10th, I stand in religious solidarity with Muslims because they, like me, a Christian, are people of the book. And as Pope Francis stated last week, we worship the same God. And we do worship the same God. I mean, these fanatic, crazy people in this country who say, oh, Allah is a different God than God. That's not true. Christians refer to God in many ways. Jehovah is one way. Jews refer to God as Yahweh. Allah is the Arabic word for the word God. It's not a separate God. And I have these really sad, uneducated, ignorant people who say, oh yeah, no, Allah is a separate, different God, a pagan God, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going, oh, please, my mother's Christian. You people, some Christians in this country don't even know what it's like to be real Christians. Let's be honest. Christians in this country have no idea what it's really like to be Christian. They just like to use the holiday so they can go buy presents and give themselves gifts, and maybe they'll get a bonus. The Christmas bonus is bigger than the Christmas spirit to a lot of quote-unquote American Christians. And that's shameful. And a lot of Christians don't like to hear that, but that's true. In this country, it's horrible and it's sad, and it just makes me feel bad. But Larycia Hawkins, Professor Hawkins, is so Christian-like, and she's a true Christian, because Christians believe not only in turning the other cheek, but we believe in supporting other people who are in need, and we believe in supporting people. Now, it's true, Islam and Christianity are two different religions, Yes, they are. They are two different religions. But in the same way that Christianity and Judaism are two different religions, Christians have done to Judaism what Muslims have done to Christianity and Judaism. They're extensions. Christianity and Muslims, Islam, they believe in the same prophets of the Bible, the same biblical prophets. Adam, they believe in Adam. Muslims believe in Adam. Yeah, people. Muslims believe in Abraham. Yes, they do, people. Wake up, Christian Americans. You know, you want to say you're Christian, but you don't want to act Christian. Yeah. Muslims believe in Moses. They believe in, and you know something? They believe in Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. And I don't know how many times as a young kid I would hear one of my cousins who was Catholic always say, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, when he was upset about stuff. And yes, Muslims believe in Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Now, do Muslims believe that Jesus was resurrected and is the Son of God? No, they don't. But they believe that God, through the angel Gabriel, who they believe in, we Christians believe in Gabriel as an angel, passed along the message, I think it was over 23 years, of what God wanted Muhammad's people at the time in Arabia to do. And over 23 years, and after Muhammad died, and this is, I think, in the 7th century, his followers, his disciples, just like Jesus had disciples, they put his words and conveyances from what he heard God say to him, speak to him, they put them in a book, and they called it the Quran, and it's written in Arabic. And true Muslims, this is the way they believe, that in order to read the Quran, you read it in Arabic. So it's interesting because there are Muslims all over the world who don't speak Arabic, but who do read Arabic and understand the Arabic of the Quran. That's amazing to me. So you don't have to be a Muslim to believe that Muslims are good people. You don't have to be a Muslim to believe that Muslims believe in the same God as Christians and Jews. You don't have to. You can be Jewish, you can be Muslim, you can be Christian, and we can respect each other. Something that Wheaton College doesn't want to do. I read the Wheaton College statement that they posted on their website at wheaton.edu. This is really amazing. Is it true that Christians and Muslims worship the same God? This is what Wheaton College says. While Islam and Christianity are both monotheistic, we believe there are fundamental differences between the two faiths, including what they teach about God's revelation to humanity, the nature of God, the path of salvation, and the life of prayer. Okay, I get that. As an institution of distinctively evangelical Christian identity, the core of our faith, as expressed in our statement of faith, is our belief that, quote, the Lord Jesus Christ died for our sins according to the Scriptures as representative and substitutionary sacrifice, triumphing over all evil, semicolon, and that all who believe in him are justified by his shed blood and forgiven of all their sins. We affirm that salvation is through Christ alone. Now, they ask the question, is it true that Christians and Muslims worship the same God on Wheaton College's website? But they don't answer the question. And that is really sad. You know, I'm told now that we have Professor Hawkins on our line. Yeah, Professor Hawkins, I just want to, first of all, thank you for taking the time to come on our radio show to let people hear from you. And thank you for being the good person that you are. This Christmas season, I feel so good just thinking about you for what you did. It's so nice, so Christian-like. Thank you.
Well, I think it's an honor to be on your program, and to your listeners and those who I know have friended me on Facebook and who I don't know, I've seen an outpouring of love and support from across the country and even from around the world, and it means a lot to even have you all reach out to me and devote time to this.
And Just explain to us, I mean, why did you feel compelled to write what you wrote on your Facebook page? What was it that made you want to, post what you posted, about on December 10th, I think it was, to stand in religious solidarity with Muslims? Because like me, a Christian, they're people of the book. And importantly, you said, and as Pope Francis stated last week, which is true, we worship the same God. That's such a strong statement. Why did you feel compelled to write that?
I felt compelled to write it for a few reasons. Just to give you a little context, I'm a professor of political science, and I also started at Wheaton College a Peace and Conflict Studies certificate program. And this is the first year of the program, and the program is going beautifully. And one of the things that throughout my teaching I've been gripped by is what Christians and Jews and Muslims call the image of God, that we're created in the image of of the divine. And also the notion, so gripped by that notion that perhaps we really don't understand human dignity, or we don't take it seriously as Christians, as humans, religionists, non-religionists, and perhaps if we really gripped the centrality of that teaching of most major world religions and non-religions, that human dignity is the essence of everything. It's the essence, it should be the essence of our politics in the United States, and it doesn't seem to be. So that first, and then the second is, if we really see people created in God's image in all of their dignity and all of their worth, then we also realize that our bodies really matter. Because in this country, our bodies, I like to say our bodies do work for us. So without me telling you who I am, you look at me and you see a black woman, and you decide, people decide what they think I must be about, because my body tells them. You see a woman in the hijab, whether she's white or black or looks like she's of Arab descent, and you say, she must be a Muslim. She might have a headscarf on because it's cold outside, but in this country, right, our categories put her in a religious box. And in many cases, unfortunately, in a country where the first freedom is freedom of religion, she's written off. She's conflated with terrorists. She's conflated with ISIS. She can't be peace-loving. She can't be light like her religion says if she is a Muslim. And so part of the impetus was some students wanted to wear the hijab on the plane, and I said, well, let's think about this. Let's not do things out of order. And so the first order would be to speak with a friend of mine at Gerald Hankerson at CARE, Council on American Islamic Relations in Chicago, and ask, is this haram, is this forbidden for a non-Muslim to wear the hijab? In solidarity with Muslims, but it's important to think about not just the optics, but about honoring the religion. As a religionist, I wanted to honor Islam and the wishes of my Muslim brothers and sisters. And so that was the first step. So in contact with CARE, they said, yes, please do this, please. And even went back and forth, and I said, are you sure? I want to be, this is not about, some Christians getting attention or some Christian college students getting attention. This is really about solidarity. We want our motives to be pure. And for people will misunderstand, we get that. But we want your blessing, and we don't want to have put pressure on you to say yes.
You didn't want to be disrespectful. You're a teacher. You want young people to understand issues, and what better way to do it than to roll up your sleeves and actually get involved? Before you came on, I was telling everybody and reminding them that my mother was born in Bethlehem. Her whole family's lived there for generations. And they went to the Church of the Nativity, and they covered their heads all the time.
Yes.
They basically
Mary,
wore
the Mother of God,
things.
wore the hijab.
Yes, it's similar to a hijab. When I look at a hijab, I don't think of it separately as a Muslim thing. I think of it as somebody who feels very strongly about their religion, not in a fanatic way, but a respectful way.
Right.
We're on the line with Professor Hawkins from Wheaton College. And she's been so generous to take a minute to talk with us. I know she's been overwhelmed with attention. And Professor, tell us what what is your status there now? Because the news, obviously, this continues to break. I'm saddened because I fear that, they're going to go ahead and they're threatened to fire you. And I feel terrible about that. But what is your status? I mean, is it that bad, or is it, is this a media, exaggerating it, or what is actually happening?
Well, let me go back to your previous question and finish, because as a professor, I give too long-winded answers.
Yes, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Answers. No, it's okay. But I wanted to go back and say it was the student who motivated me to think about it and contact CARE. But really, the driving force also behind my teaching is our bodies matter, therefore solidarity with other bodies matter.
Right.
And so when we sit in the classroom, I have a privilege of teaching at an amazing liberal arts college. I have the privilege of being educated at elite institutions of higher education. And that's a responsibility. It's not just a privilege, it's a responsibility. So how do we move from the privilege of sitting in our ivory tower and then expecting to go out and make money and not having to worry about where our next meal is coming from, to actual embodied solidarity with the most vulnerable people in society? And Muslim women are targeted because their bodies are vulnerable by virtue of wearing the hijab. So theoretical solidarity, realizing that Muslim women are in danger, that's not enough. It's not enough. And actually, I want to correct some statements that have been made. What I'm doing is not heroic. It's not courageous. It's very simple. It's humans walking in hand with humans. It's walking a mile in my Muslim sister's shoes. And it's, as a Christian, this is what Jesus teaches. But that relates very squarely to Wheaton and my status there. And I wanted to say that doing what I did, Wheaton was not foregrounded. It wasn't backgrounded in my mind. Simply what I was thinking about was, I can't teach my students things that I'm unwilling to do myself.
Right.
We have to lead by example. And
right.
So my status at Wheaton is that I am still on administrative leave, which means, and I want to clarify, I have not been fired, and it's important to honor Wheaton and their commitment to continue to pay my contract while I'm on leave, because that's true. And it appears to many people that I've been fired because the notice of termination sounds to many people like she's automatically been fired. There is a process. So the next step is to go through a termination hearing process, at which time the provost will present various charges against me. I will answer to those charges in front of a faculty panel of 9. The panel will make a determination of my status, whether I should be terminated or not, whether the charges are sufficient to terminate me. They will make a recommendation to the president of the college, not the provost. The provost tries me. The panel makes a recommendation to the president, and the president then makes his own recommendation to the board of trustees, and the board of trustees gets to decide whatever they want.
Right.
So while there's a process, it should also be noted that the decision of the panel, the faculty panel of 9, is non-binding. What they say may have weight, it may not. It may matter, it may not. So it's also true that it feels a little bit like a kangaroo court where I don't have a whole heck of a lot of rights. I just get to speak on my behalf. Wheaton says my attorneys cannot be present, and that feels very vulnerable.
Right.
But I trust the 9 faculty on that board to actually be committed to the process. I know many of them well. I don't know all of them well, and I trust them to treat me with the honor and respect and dignity that I've treated my colleagues with for my 9 years at Wheaton.
And just to clarify, what was it? Was there a specific reason why you were suspended? Why this whole thing started? Well, I know it wasn't because you wore the hijab.
Well,
it went beyond that. What was the specific reason? Because there's so much has been said, about what happened. What was the real reason as you see it?
Well, I can't intuit the provost's intentions, but what has been stated to me is that the reason I was suspended was the statement, the one line in my original Facebook post, and there was a follow-up Facebook post, and I would encourage people to actually read those. There were two, not just one. And the first Facebook post I said, as you stated at the beginning of our conversation, I can't remember exactly how I said it.
That you stand in religious solidarity, and the last line, as Pope Francis stated last week, we worship the same God.
And as a Christian, we're people of the book. Muslims like me, as a Christian, are people of the book, right?
I stand in solidarity with Muslims because they, like me, a Christian, are people of the book.
And calling Muslims brothers and sisters was seen as somehow conflating Islam and Christianity. Within Christianity, we refer to one another as brothers and sisters as a family. Also, some other references in the second post that the provost intuited as not being consistent with Christianity. Or evangelical Christianity. I should say the statement of faith, because the statement of faith is the standard I'm being held to. But the statement of faith, in my mind, is the university's version of what it means to be an evangelical Christian. And so that's the standard I'm being held to, and that's the standard against which the provost is making his judgment. Those are not based on things it's been extrapolated from what I wrote. Things like, I don't believe in the Trinity or other kinds of things. And that's not true. I've never stated that in any conversation. The first time I heard the charges, the first time I heard these charges was in a meeting. That was the first time I spoke with the provost about the Facebook post, and I'm a Christian. And actually, I have another phone call that's beeping in, and I'm going to have to call them back. But I regret that I can't be with you all longer, and I appreciate, again, you all devoting time and energy. And I hope the time and energy you're devoting is really less about me and more about this issue of being in solidarity with one another, whoever we are, wherever we find ourselves, and especially with those who are the most vulnerable in society. So many blessings and love and peace to everyone in your viewing audience, whether you agree with what I did or what I said. Please know that it was from a place of solidarity, human solidarity with women who are suffering and with my Muslim religionists who are being falsely vilified in our national rhetoric and actually across the globe. So,
Professor Hawkins, thank you so much. I know we've cut into your time, and it was very generous of you to come in. I view you as the epitome of what a Christian should be, someone who reaches out, tries to get understanding. I hope Wheaton College makes the right decision and reverses this, because what you're doing is so Christian-like that it is a great example for other people. And I know you're not trying to put the spotlight on yourself, but what you did was to remind people what it really means to be Christian and to be so outgoing in support of other people. Professor Hawkins, thank you again. We wish you the best, and we'll be following what's happening.
Thank you, Ray. Thanks again. Have a wonderful day.
You're welcome. And it is Christmas for the Orthodox Christians, too, from the Middle East, so we're celebrating this week. Thank you. We'll talk to you again.
It's still Epiphany for non-Orthodox Christians. So.
Yes, and it's still right. I mean, this is the timing couldn't. Listen, your voice and your picture and your explanation are so inspiring, and I hope people get inspiration from it for what you've said. Thank you. We'll be looking forward to following, and hopefully it's going to end up the right way and things will work out.
Thank you. Many blessings. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That was Professor Larycia Hawkins, who was suspended, put on suspension by Wheaton College for basically saying in a post on her Facebook page December 10th, I stand in religious solidarity with Muslims because they, like me, a Christian, are people of the book. And as Pope Francis stated last week, we worship the same God. We're going to take a quick break, and if you want to call in and share your thoughts about this topic, you can call 248-557-3300. Don't let the phone lines jam up. I'll give everybody, you got to be fast, though. I'm not going to let people go on and on forever, because I want to get a lot of people on who want to tell me, do you think what she says is right? Was Wheaton College wrong in suspending her, and now they're trying to fire her? Or maybe you have the opposite view, but what they're right, and maybe that Muslims and Christians are not the same, that we don't believe in the same God. I happen to believe we believe in the same God, but I want to hear what you have to say. Our number again here at the Arab Daily News Radio Show is 248-557-3300. I'm Ray Hanania. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll continue the discussion right after these messages.
Ziyad brand. Quality products from our family to yours. Ziyad Brothers Importing offers the finest quality products, including brands like Sultan, Kraft, Nestle, Hook, Rico Picon, Donna, and many more. Ask your retailer to carry these fine products because you deserve the very best. For more information, visit our website at www.ziyad.com. That's www.ziyad.com. Ziyad, quality products from our family to yours.
From their first words to first grade, Dreamy Children's Center will help get your child on the right track. The highly qualified staff works closely with parents to provide an experience that goes beyond early education. We can help nurture important personality traits with the use of educational programs ranging from preschooling for infants to Montessori-approved programs and bilingual curriculums for young children. All meals can be provided and we can arrange for after-school pickup. Dreamy Children's Center in Dearborn Heights on Warren, in Westland on Ann Arbor Trail, and in Troy on DeQuinder.
Life for Relief and Development is a nonprofit charity that has been providing humanitarian aid and development to people and communities regardless of race, color, religion, or cultural background for over 22 years. When disaster occurs here or around the world, Life rushes to provide food, medical aid, and shelter to those in need. Life also has development projects that provide medical relief, water purification, educational programs, relief for orphans, and much more. Your help and support can greatly improve these efforts. All donations are tax deductible. For more information, please visit our website at lifeusa.org or call 248-424-7493. That's lifeusa.org, 248-424-7493.
And welcome back to the Arab Daily News Radio Show. I'm Ray Hanania. This is WNZK 690 AM, broadcasting in Detroit, and on 700 AM, broadcasting in Washington, D.C. I'm here every second Friday of the month on Layla El Husseini's U.S. Arab Radio Network, Radio Baladi, which is broadcast Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in Detroit, Washington, D.C., and in many other cities. Layla's expanding her program. We were so honored to have Professor Larycia Hawkins, who's a friend of mine on Facebook and a professor at Wheaton College, who basically said that Muslims and Christians believe in the same God, and then because of that, Wheaton College, which is a Wesleyan evangelical college, which, by the way, gets public funding. It's not like, they can say, oh, we can do whatever we want. No, you can't. You get public funding. You do get taxpayer money for the college and for the students. And if you punish her for being so Christian-like, then the college, Wheaton College, should be punished too. That's my view. But I want to hear what you have to say, what you think about this topic at 248-557-3300, 248-557-3300. Call in and let me know. Let's go to the phone lines and say hi to Jerry. How you doing, Jerry?
Good
Eid
morning,
Mubarak.
Mr. Ray Hanania, Eid Mubarak.
It's Christmas.
Happy New Year.
Happy Christmas. Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas and all the good holidays. Thank you, Ray. I just want to check on you that you made it to the year 2016.
Thank you.
All right.
What do you think of the story about Professor Hawkins? Do Muslims and Christians believe in the same God? Not do they worship the same way, but do you think they believe in the same God?
Absolutely, Ray. If you allow me to say, I'm very proud of Professor Hawkins. She approved. She's a true Christian.
She's
the
amazing.
True Christian is the one he will love the Jewish, the Muslim, the Yazidi, the Hindusi, the Mandai, and Ray Hanania. God, he is the beautiful picture, and every individual looking at God from their own view. That's what God. It doesn't matter what they call him. Allah, Rabbi, Ilahi, he is the mighty. and everybody looking at God's face like a beautiful picture, how you look at it. Right. In the meantime, about Professor Hawkins to support her brother Muslim and sisters, yes, I do agree. Just look right a few weeks ago when the Republican candidate, Mr. Trump, gave his thunderstorm about Muslim bandit from coming to USA. Right. As an American Iraqi Christian, right, you remember, I support my brother and Muslim.
Yes,
from my
you are
heart.
A good person, Jerry. There is no doubt about it. You
because
are always
we are, like
good,
you said earlier, we all come from Ibrahim, yes, our father, and if they were Jewish or a Christian or Muslim, or all of us, we come from one source, and that source was God. It doesn't matter what they call him. He is our mighty God. He created all of us.
And you know, Jerry, you know what? We believe all in the same God, but in a different way. Why can't we be nice? Why can't Wheaton College do the right thing? Jerry, I don't have a lot of time. I got to let you go because I want to try to put so many people on.
Right,
to get one quick
Can I add two words?
Yes, real quick. Go ahead.
I appreciate our brother Muslim and sister from the Islamic Center in Dearborn throughout the Great Michigan and Detroit and USA. Please, I don't want them to use the phrase happy holiday. Please say to your brother Christian, Merry Christmas.
Yes, that's a good point, Jerry. Here's what I think.
When I call our brother Muslim, I say Happy Eid al-Adha, Eid al-Fitr. I want my brother Muslim, forget happy holidays.
No, but you know what? Every Muslim I know says to me, Merry Christmas.
Beautiful.
Every one of them that says something, because I think that you wish upon the person what they believe. So if you're Muslim, I say Happy Eid Mubarak. If you're Christian, I say Merry Christmas. If you're Muslim or Jewish, I say Happy Holidays, because they don't celebrate Christmas.
I say to the Jewish Happy Hanukkah. I say to our brother Muslim Eid al-Fitr Mubarak.
Thank you, Jerry.
God bless you, Ray. Thank you for taking my call.
No problem. We love you on the show here. You're a big supporter. Let's go back to the phone lines at 248-557-3300. Say hi to Sam, who's on the line. Sam, thank you for calling.
Thank you. Good morning. Hopefully you're going to leave me on a line for a minute.
You can make your point, absolutely. Go ahead. I'm not going to, whether we agree or disagree, I'm going to let you do it. Go ahead.
That's great. That's great. In the Bible it says, do not kill. But in the Quran, chapter 9, verse 5, says, kill all
But you know, the Bible does say to kill.
So our God is not the same.
I know, but but the point is that there are differences, and I know what you're going to say, which is okay. I disagree with you, but they do believe things different than Christians. That we agree on. But don't they believe in the same God, but maybe in a different way? Isn't that correct, don't you think? Don't you think Muslims believe the same God that you believe in, but they just do it in a different way?
No. Your God is different God than mine.
How is that? How is that possible? What about Jews? Is their God different?
Musa's God says, do not kill. The Ten Commandments, when they give it, it says, do not kill.
Yeah, but that's the Ten Commandments. But the Bible, the Torah, our religions are filled with violence because men do it.
But the Quran says, kill all non-believe in Muhammad.
No, they don't say that. They don't say that.
Surah 5, verse
I know,
Surah 9, verse 5.
If you read that surah and understand the context,
please read it.
اقتلوا المشركين حيث وجدتموهم. Yes, in the context of destroying the people who believe in Islam, that they defend themselves and they have to go out
No. Does not defend. Does not say defend. Does not say defend.
Okay.
It says اقتلوا المشركين حيث وجدتموهم.
I understand, and I've heard it many times, and I could sit here, I guess, and get the Bible and show you how many Christians have killed With the Inquisition, are we proud of the Inquisition killing Jews because they're Jews?
It's not. When you
But
open
they
a
did it,
discussion
though,
about,
right?
when you open a discussion about Bible, then we're gonna talk about Bible.
No, but
now you're talking about our God and your God.
Sam, but aren't you talking about something different? What you're talking about is Muslims and Christians are different. That is accurate.
Exactly.
We are absolutely
it is
different than what we believe. But,
exactly, it is different.
Right, but the question is this. Don't Muslims believe in the God of Moses and Abraham?
No.
Yes, they do. They say so in their book. They respect Abraham.
You got
they
say
respect
it in
Moses,
English.
They respect Jesus.
Can you say it in English? Your God, who's your God? It's Allah.
God.
It's
God
Allah.
Is my
Your God is
who
Allah.
Abraham's God. The God
No,
of
your
Abraham.
God, it's Allah. My God, it's Elohim.
Yeah, but you know something? My mother was
Il.
born in
My God is
Bethlehem.
Il. Your God is Allah.
From Bethlehem. My mother is from Bethlehem. My cousin is the pastor of the Church of the Nativity. And he says the word Allah. He says that. He does. He's Christian.
Say the word of Allah because
Allah.
they want you to understand what Allah is. But it's Allah. God on the beginning. It did not say Allah. It says Jibra'il. Il.
Those are words.
Yeah,
thank you. I've given you time. I didn't disconnect you. I respected you. Yes. I did respect you.
Yes, you did. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome, Sam. Thank you for calling in. I'm Ray Hanania. We're going to take another quick break, and I want to hear what you have to say at 248-557-3300. Also, if you want to talk about I'm just distressed about the death and killing. It's continuing in Syria and Iraq, and it's horrible, and in Palestine. And this is terrible what's going on. If you want to talk about that, we can. But I'd really like to hear, do you agree with Professor Hawkins or disagree with her that Muslims and Christians worship the same God? I do believe that Muslims sometimes don't do a very good job of conveying themselves to mainstream Americans. Americans are the most educated people in the world, but the least educated about the world. Americans are uneducated, and they're ignorant about the Middle East and Muslims and Arabs, and we don't do a good enough job. And I do blame the Muslim leadership for failing in their effort to educate Americans. They need to do a better job, and they don't do it. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to take a phone call from Elias. So, Elias, stay on the line here at the Arab Daily News Radio Show. I'm Ray Hanania. We're going to be right back right after these messages.
قشات ميديترينيان ماركت بإدارة فهر قشات وأولاده يرحبون بالجالية العربية والكلدانية. جميع أنواع المواد الغذائية، البان طازجة، الكرزات والبهارات الطازجة. داخل الأسواق مطعم ميديترينيان شيش كباب يقدم يوميا جميع أنواع الكباب، المقبلات العربية العراقية وصواني الكامبو المميزة. تفتح الأسواق من 8 إلى 9 مساء من الاثنين وحتى السبت، ومن 8 صباحا إلى 9 مساء يوم الأحد. تقع الأسواق على 32839 نورث ويسترن هايواي في مدينة فارمينغتون هيلز. لحوم حلال للجالية الإسلامية. لطلباتكم من المطعم كول 248-538-7855. That is 248-538-7855. قشة ميديترينيان ماركت، خدمة متميزة ومعاملة راقية.
مسافر وحدك وفايتني.
أمتي ترافل للسياحة والسفر بإدارة نبيل الباشا تعلن عن افتتاح مكتبها الواقع على 28695 راين رود في مدينة وورن. خدمات متميزة وخبرة تفوق 20 عاما نضعها في خدمة عملائنا الكرام. مع أمتي ترافل يمكنكم حجز رحلاتكم الجوية داخل أمريكا، الوطن العربي وأنحاء العالم، إضافة إلى الأماكن السياحية والاستجمام. للحصول على أفضل العروض وأنسب الأسعار ولمزيد من المعلومات اتصلوا على الرقم 586-578-9126 586-578-9126. أمتي ترافل، عنوان للصداقة والثقة. أسواق زمزم الواقع على 24065 أورشاد ليك في مدينة فارمington هيلز ترحب بالجالية العربية والكلدانية. تنزيلات كبيرة على عموم المواد الغذائية في يوم الأربعاء من كل أسبوع. لا تنسوا فريش كاري اوت، جميع انواع المعجنات، وايضا صواني الكمبو المشكله والصمون الحار. لحوم حلال الجاليه العربيه والاسلاميه الملحمه باداره قصاب الجاليه المعروف سلوان جربوع. زوروهم على 24065 اورشاد ليك في مدينه فارمington هيلز او اتصلوا بهم على 248-476-0300. اسواق زمزم للمذاق عنوان لجميع طلباتكم. اتصلوا على 248-476-0300. اسواق زمزم للمعامله الراقية وكرم الضيافة عنوان.
And welcome back to the Arab Daily News Radio Show. I'm your host, Ray Hanania. Our website, please visit it, friend us, support us at thearabdailynews.com. You can go there and get information on American Arabs all over the world, and especially here in the United States. We focus on what they're doing. I'm here every second Friday of the month on Layla Hosseini's U.S. Arab Radio Network, Radio Baladi, and you can call us. We have time here for the next 10 minutes at 248-557-3300, 248-557-3300. Let's go to the phone lines and say hi to Elias. Elias, thank you for listening to the show, for being patient and calling in.
Yeah, صباح الخير حبيبنا سيد هاشم.
Thank you. Thank you,
مختصر مفيد. اوكي مختصر مفيد. العهد الجديد.
You got to do it in English because my Arabic is I'll pick and choose.
The New Testament is the New Testament. It started with the birth of the Lord Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ and the New Testament calls for love and peace, does not call for killing. You could read the whole New Testament word by word. You do not find any killing, any hatred, or any things unhappy or unpleasant. But if you want to go back to the Old Testament, that's a different story.
I know.
And Jesus Christ.
But isn't the Old Testament part of my Christian Bible? I recognize that it's part of my Bible.
No, we have a new thing. It's called New Testament, New Life. Jesus' birth started without any killing. Read the New Testament word by word.
I get it.
No
I get
killing.
it. But isn't it?
No
but
killing.
Elias, isn't it?
No hatred.
I understand, but I agree that the two religions are different. But
brother,
is it not a fact?
A new life. We started the new life.
But isn't it a fact that Muslims believe in the God of Abraham? Don't they
if you believe in Jesus Christ and you believe in the New Testament,
they believe in Jesus.
Yes, I understand. Everyone believes different way, but you have to really read the fundamental of the New Testament. It says, love your neighbor just like you love yourself.
Okay.
Whoever strikes you on your right, turn your left to him, etc., etc. So read the New Testament. There's no killing, no hatred, nothing. It's only love. It's only good life. And I wish everybody read the book.
Merry Christmas,
and go by the book. God bless your heart. But
thank you. I
will hold you responsible.
Thank you, Elias. We're going to go to another phone line at 248-557-3300. We have another Sam on the line. Sam, thank you for holding on and being so patient. I appreciate it. What do you think?
Sure, thank you. How are you today? 3 points quickly. I'm not going to take much of your time. Happy holidays.
That's okay.
First.
Go ahead.
Okay. First, it takes scholars to explain, and you know that the Quran is very complex in wording. If you read it, there's actually a challenge if someone can write something like it. There is no doubt this is from God. That's one. Two, it takes scholars to explain what are the verses. I'm Muslim, okay? I try to understand it. Sometimes I have to go back to the tafsir, to the explanation of it. All right? And the Quran is coming in series. You cannot just talk about one part of it.
You can't take one sentence and say this represents the whole religion, right? It takes it out of context. I agree.
Three, the respect we have for Christianity is more than, or actually for Mary, is more than the respect in the Bible for Mary. We have a whole chapter about Mary and how Mary gave this birth to Jesus. I don't know how the people understand that, understand it differently.
There is an animosity, though, isn't there, that's really disturbing a little bit. the way that people, they just don't want to believe what the truth is. They want to believe what they believe so they can say, and dislike Muslims. It's wrong.
I know.
I think Islam is a great religion. I happen to be Christian. I know we have differences.
The people
but you believe in the same God I believe in.
That's the problem.
You're Muslim,
just one
right?
One quick word for the guy who was saying وَقْتُلُوهُمْ حَيْثُ وَجَدْتُمُوهُم. There is no verse in the Quran that says وَقْتُلُوهُم حَيْثُ وَجَدْتُمُوهُم. وَقَاتِلُوا الَّذِينَ أَشْرَكُوا وَقْتُلُوهُم حَيْثُ ثَقِفْتُمُوهُم. وَقَاتِلُوا whoever was fighting you. That's one. The last thing I want to say, they read part of the Quran, they don't read the other part. There's one place that says killing one person or one nafs, one spirit,
is the worst sin.
Without a righteous way to do it, as if you are killing all the people. Why don't you look at this ayah? Why don't you look at this verse, which tells you if you kill someone with no righteousness, as if you are killing all the people. And then there's one word that says al-fitnatu ashaddu min al-qatl. We're not talking about killing here. We're talking about fitna, about people, trying to get people fighting each other.
Let me ask you a quick question. You're Muslim. Do you believe in the same God that I believe in as a Christian?
Most definitely. Do you think, Allah...
Thank you. How could somebody now, you said it, and I know every Muslim would say the same thing. Why is it that these people won't accept it? Are you upset about what this college did to this Christian woman?
You know what? I'm not upset. Everybody have their own opinion. They can say whatever they say, but the right at the end is gonna reveal. I think Allah, sent Abraham. You believe in Abraham. You're a Christian. You believe in Abraham. He sent Moses. I believe in Moses. He sent Noah. I believe in Noah. He sent Adam. I believe in Adam. He sent Jesus. I believe in Jesus. The only problem is, for Christianity and Judaism, they don't believe in Muhammad, and that's something that's
right. I mean, listen, exactly. There are differences, and there's nothing wrong with saying we have differences, but
exactly,
we don't use those differences to hate each other. We shouldn't do that. I appreciate what you've said, and I appreciate you calling in, Sam. I know it's tough.
I appreciate it. Thanks for taking my call, and have a good weekend.
You too. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. And let's go to Khalil. I think Khalil may be our last caller here at the Arab Daily News radio show. Go ahead, Khalil. You're on the line.
Right.
Thank you for waiting and being so patient.
Merry Christmas to you. It is a one God, and we all believe in the same God. And it's so unfortunate what they're doing to this professor at the college.
Yeah.
And I hate to break it to your previous callers. The Bible is really littered with violence.
Yes, it is.
I mean, here's in Book 1 Samuel, when God instructed Saul to destroy, to kill both men and women, infant, nurse, and child. They're talking about genocide.
Yes,
and Christians do practice that.
Yes,
not
everybody
only,
does.
And when he failed to do that, God took away his kingdom. That's a Christian belief. Now, the other thing I want to say is that even if we don't believe in the same God, shouldn't we respect each other?
Yes.
I mean, this is even a bigger point.
I agree with you.
And it's so unfortunate we get people so narrow-minded, they cut and paste from here and there to promote their own political agenda.
It was important to let him say what he said because people need to hear what some people believe.
Absolutely.
And as long as they're not too disrespectful, I don't want people calling people names or saying bad things about other people. But I wanted him to explain what he believed, even though I disagree with him.
Absolutely. And happy holidays, Merry Christmas.
It's a beautiful Christmas, and we should be celebrating it. I hope you have a great Eid and holiday if you're Muslim. If you're Christian, I wish you Merry Christmas, right? We wish people what they celebrate.
Absolutely.
Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Eid, all of it. Thank you, Khalil, for calling. I appreciate it. All right, we're down to the last couple minutes. I just want to say thank you to everybody. Urge you, please go to our website at thearabdailynews.com. Go to our website, our Facebook page. You can look me up at RG Hanania on Facebook. RG. G for George, as in St. George. I have those St. George medallions. My mother and father used to get them to me all the time. I love them. But you can go and friend us on Facebook. Support us. We need your help. We want your support. And it's because of your support that we're able to do this radio show. And to thank Layla Hosseini for allowing us to do this show every second Friday of the month. Remember, you can reach me. I'd love to hear what you have to say, even during the month between shows. So text me, email me, visit the website, visit the Facebook page, and follow us on Twitter. You guys have a great holiday. Happy holiday. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Happy Eid. Happy Hanukkah. My son celebrates Hanukkah, so, we got everybody here. We love you. We'll talk to you later. Thank you, Mike, for doing and producing the show, and we will talk to everybody next month. Have a great week. Bye-bye.